Okay, let's go down to the vocabulary. Okay, 3 measures of central tendency. Central tendency means it's the center of the distributed data. And those 3 measures are mean, median, and mode. Mean, median, and mode. You can think of mean as being the average, the median being the middle number, and the mode as being the most often number. Now I'm going to change the definition just a little bit here. We'll just cast that. Mean is adding the numbers. Mean is adding the numbers, then dividing the numbers, dividing the numbers by how many numbers there are, adding the numbers, then dividing the numbers by how many numbers there are. So let's say it's 5 numbers, you add 5 numbers, then you divide by 5, because there is 5 numbers. So you divide by how many numbers there are. And again, most of you already know this, and this is just kind of a short version of the definition. Okay, median. Median is, it's the middle number. The middle number after all the numbers are in order. So you have to first put all the numbers in order, then find the middle number, and that's the median. The middle number after all the numbers are in order. Now, if there's an even number of data values, even number of numbers, then the median, the middle number, is the average of the 2 numbers. If there's an even number of data values, the middle number is the average of the 2 numbers. The 2 middle numbers. What am I saying in there? I should write down 2 middle numbers. Rats. All right, let's see here. Let me just write that in there. 2 middle, sorry about that, of 2 middle numbers. Mode, excuse me, a mode is the number that appears most often. The number that appears most often. Last one, an outlier. An outlier is a number much less or greater. It's a number much less or greater than the other numbers. It's a number much less or greater than the other numbers. That's an outlier. It is outside of the others. Okay, example 1 says find the mean, median, and mode. There's 6 elementary students are participating in a 1-week readathon to raise money for a good cause. They're going to read a bunch of books. Use the graph to find the mean, median, and mode of the data if you leave out the number of pages. Would that be Latana has read. And if you look at our graph, here's this young lady here, Latana, and she read 59. We're supposed to leave that out and find all the other data. Okay, so we're just going to use these numbers right here. So to find the mean, the average, you add the data, add the numbers, then divide by how many there are. So our first number, let's see, we have 40, 45. Where am I getting those numbers? Right here. 40, 45, 48, and 50 and 50. Okay, so we take these numbers, we add them up. I'll do that for you. It's 233. If we add all these up, it's 233. So you have 233 divided by 5. Why 5? Because there's 5 numbers. And if I divide that out, you get 46.6. So the mean is 46.6. Next, we want to find the median. Median is the middle number, but you have to write all the numbers in order. Just so happens they were in order. 40, 45, 48, 50, and 50. So the median is the middle number, or, let's see, where's the middle number here? The middle number is 48, right? Because I'm looking at the two ends, and I start going towards the center, it's 48. 48 then is our median. Next, we want to find the mode, the most often number that occurs, and that would be this, 50. See that I got 50 twice. So the mode is 50. Now let's go to the next page, page 191. Okay, it says identifying outliers. Use the data, those numbers up here. Looking at those, which data value is an outlier? So looking at these numbers, which one stands out the most, or is farthest, either real much greater or much less than the others? It looks like, I think this one, 33. 33%. That's much greater than the closest one. The next highest one would be 12. If you put these in order, you would see that 33 is way out there. The next highest would be 12. So 33 is our outlier. It's an outlier because it is much blank than the other data values. It's much greater, or you could put more than the other data values. Next question is, how much does the outlier, letter B, how much does the outlier affect the mean, affects the average? So if I added up all the numbers there, if I add up all these numbers, that comes out to a total of 77. Okay, it comes out to 77. And there's 6 numbers. So 77 divided by 6 is 12.8. 12.8. So in other words, we're trying to find the average of these numbers, all 6 of these numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 numbers. Okay, so we found the average. It's 12.8. Next, let's find the average without the outlier. You know, if we get rid of this one, now we just have 5 numbers. Add these numbers up and divide by 5. Well, if I add them up, it comes out to 44. 44 divided by 5 is approximately 8.8. So it makes a big difference. Okay, so if I kept the outlier in there, the average is 12.8. If I take this average out, if I take this number out, the outlier, I get 8.8 as the average. And 12.8 minus 8.8 is 4, or 4.0. So the outlier, by putting the outlier in there, it raises the average, the mean, by about 4 points. So it makes a big difference. That's why we like to throw out some of that data. Okay, now we're going to identify the best measure. Which measure of central tendency, this means which one gets as close to the center, best describes the situation? So our choices are mean, median, and mode. Okay, those are our 3 choices. So let's go to letter A. Okay, the monthly amount of rain for a year. What would best way to find the monthly amount of rain for a year? Would you use the average, the mean? Would you use the median? Or would you use the mode to find the monthly amount of rain for a year? You know, how much rain in a month during an entire year? Would that be mean, median, or mode? It would be mean. Yeah, it'd be mean. Since the average monthly amount of rain for a year is not likely to have an outlier, mean is the appropriate measure. So if you don't have an outlier, use mean. When the data have no outliers, use the mean. Okay, to find the most popular color of shirt. All right, so like, for example, in the classroom for people wearing blue shirts, or to find out what's the most popular color of shirt in the classroom, would you use the average, mean, or would you use the middle, or would you use the mode? Mean, median, or mode to find the most popular color of shirt. That would be mode. Since the data are not numerical, the mode is the appropriate measure. When determining the most frequently chosen item, or when the data are not numerical, use the mode. Last one, time student leaves home to get to school. The time student leaves home to get to school. Would you use the average, the middle, the median, or would you use mode the most often? Okay, let's go ahead and find 1 and 2, and this time we're not going to use the mean though. We're not going to find the average. So forget about mean. Cross that off. Just going to find the middle number, the median, and the mode, the most often number. Also, take a look at number 2 down the bottom. It says find an outlier in each group of data below and tell how it affects the mean. Forget about how it affects the mean. Okay? Just forget about that part. Just find the outlier. Okay, I'll help you on letter A here. Let's find the median. Before we do that, we have to put these numbers in order. That's our first step. Put the numbers in order. All right, our first number, the smallest number would be 2.3. Okay, so I'm going to write up here. So I have 2.3. There's one of them. There's another one, 2.3. 2.3. Then we have, what's the next one? 2.7. The next one would be 2.9. And then 3.2. I'm just putting commas between the numbers. And then we have 4.3. Okay, so you have those numbers right there. We want to find the middle number. So what you can do is you can kind of cross them off from one end to the other. Like, watch this. I'll cross off this one and this one. See, I'm going to work towards the center. I'll cross off this one and this one. And now I come to 2.7 and 2.9. Okay, we have two numbers. And we need to find this, we need the very middle. Well, it has to be between these two numbers. So I just find the average of the two. I could add them up, divide by 2, or you can just look at it. What's between 2.7 and 2.9? That's right. 2.8. 2.8. So that is our middle number, 2.8. Even though you don't see the number there, that is it. The median is 2.8. Now mode, that's the most often number you see. The most often number you see is 2.3. I see it twice there. 2.3. Okay, now would you take one moment and go ahead and do letter B. Put the numbers in order, find the median, and then the mode. Go ahead and do that now, please. Put the numbers in order, find the median and mode. And when you put the numbers down, just put them over here, just like write them to the side. You know your first number, the smallest number is 18. And just go from there. Okay, you should be done now. And if you put them in order, it would look like this. And if you went ahead to find the median, the middle. By the way, notice this outlier right here, 42. That's way above all the others. That's an outlier. Okay, so I cross off these two, then I work myself in, trying to find the center. And look, I got two numbers in the center, 21 and 26. So you need to find the center of that. And that gives you 47 over 2, half of 47. If you cannot figure that out mentally, just go ahead and divide it out. You'll end up with 23.5. So our median is $23.5. And then the mode is a most often number, and that looks like the number 20. Right? Yeah, 20. Down below here it says find an outlier in each group. Find an outlier. So you look at this data and find something that's really large or really low. Much greater or much less than the others. And that would be 31. That's much more than all the others. Okay, on letter B, look at the data. 1, that's much less than all the others. 1.